Hello there, and welcome to the Outside Film Podcast, where we talk film, TV, games, and all that jazz. Let us know tomorrow. This week, we're talking about The French Dispatch, Wes Anderson's latest film. My name is Tom, and as
Oui,
always, I'm
oui.
joined with my co-host John.
Bonjour. Uh,
Bonjour. We're in
yeah.
French. We're in France today. We're in French. That's what I just said.
Yes. Baguette. Sorry.
Wow, this
Right.
man
So,
is
hey,
cultured.
everyone. Hey, everyone. Luckily, I bought my pan of chocolate. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Right. So we are
I'm
going
pre-
to be talking
I'm
about.
pretty sure there's one of them downstairs. Sorry, yeah.
So we're going to be talking about the French Dispatch. So I've seen this. You went to see it later, didn't you? Yeah, you went to see it like a couple
Yeah,
of weeks later.
I only saw it a couple of days ago. We were going to do Eternals this week, but you couldn't watch Eternals just yet. So Eternals is going to be next week. But don't worry, we are going to talk about Eternals. I'm excited because I really, really liked Eternals, man. I'm very excited to talk
Yeah,
about that one.
it's funny about like everyone like I know just said, "Oh, Eternal's just terrible." Especially Joe, who was on the podcast. He said he thought it was wasn't that good. He was like
Really?
so bad.
Oh
Yeah,
no. Yeah, no, I have heard a
yeah,
lot against it, but honestly, like I don't want to spend too much time, on it. Obviously, we'll talk about it next week, but I thought it was an incredibly heartfelt, human story, with some really, really solid emotions and character work. And yeah, I thought it broke the formula of the MCU in all the right ways. And
oh
hell yeah,
well.
man, I'm excited to talk about it. Maybe we should get Joe on to give us his opinions. Who knows? Who knows? Let's
uh,
let's dive into the French Dispatch, shall we?
yeah, Friends Dispatch. Oh, spoilers. Yeah, we mustn't
Yeah,
forget spoilers. We always forget about these, but like,
never forget spoilers.
it's just funny. Like somewhere out there in the world, just like goes, yes, I'll get spoiled, and never seen a movie. Like they just go like sort of their own way, talking to people like some spoilers, and then like 50 years later, like there's some famous director. So, how many films did you watch? They say none, and just say what? How do you know all this stuff? Like spoilers.
Yeah,
Spoil-
I have a friend who literally has seen like half the amount of films that she know. Like she literally knows about so many films, but she's only seen half of the films that she knows about just because of all the stuff online that she's just looked at, and it's definitely a way to live. I might say so myself. So
I don't know, but it's like a very unhealthy habit to do that actually because
yeah, not my choice.
it's 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 just like really ruin your experiences,
Hmm.
especially like like Empire Strikes Back, or was it Empire Strikes Back? Yeah, Empire Strikes Back. That whole Luke,
Hmm.
Darth Vader's been Luke's father, and that was like the big
Spoilers! Oh my God.
everyone knows this at this point. Like like the 70s, like when they released that, everyone just like completely lost their minds over it,
Hmm.
like how amazing that plot twist, especially, Mark Hamill couldn't talk about the spoiler because it was just like massive.
Yeah. I've
Um,
seen that
yeah,
video of him talking about it.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
definitely.
Oh, and Harrison Ford.
Thankfully, I
Oh
I
yeah, Harrison
wouldn't.
Ford said. Yeah, Harrison
Hey,
Ford said.
hey kid, you didn't fucking tell me that. Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
thankfully, I would say that this isn't one of those films. I wouldn't say there isn't much in this film that I feel like there is to
you
spoil.
can
But in case
no,
you are like a big Wes Anderson fan and you haven't seen it yet, definitely go and watch it before you
yeah,
can hear
it
our
it
thoughts.
yeah, it's a very hard film to spoil because I mean there's loads of films that you can spoil, but like there's like some very intricate films that you can't really spoil, but like talk about because it's too confusing. I mean, like
Hmm.
what film? Tenet. Yeah, you can't really spoil Tenet
Can't talk, yeah,
because
Tenet's one of those you can't talk about it.
no.
Right. So give me
But
give me
yeah,
your
French
kind of
Dispatch.
first give me your first impressions. What did you think?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was like one of those fun and enjoyable films that was on the big screen. And it was like out of the like the Wes Anderson, like he Wes Anderson himself, like he just like took it out of his own genre. Like there's so many conventions that he broke. Like I mean, you see out to the whole filmography that Wes Anderson did, like the whole static camera, like you see that in Grand Budapest Hotel, the dry humor. But sometimes you can see that he broke that throughout the film, like the aspect ratio changes, and you're like, oh
Mm.
my god, like he just did it, and it's like it's just so refreshing to see. And the storylines, I love the storylines. The first two that I thoroughly enjoyed. The first one with the artist, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
And the second one was like more heartfelt, emotion driven story. That one with Timothy Chalamet's character. And then the third one didn't really stick to me. Like I just felt it
Okay.
was a bit rushed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I definitely agree that this is Wes Anderson on the top of his game for filmmaking. There were some amazing moments that I thought were the use of color in this film. I thought was just incredible. It's almost as if so each one is 4:3 aspect ratio with in black and white telling these stories. The film is set out like a magazine would be.
Yes.
And what I loved about it was there would be these moments of color, these moments of life, almost as if in the magazine is showing you a picture of the subject it's talking about. And it would do this in color in those moments. And sometimes the aspect ratio would then shift into 16:9. And I thought these moments were just incredibly powerful, in the painting story. There was just this beautiful moment of the artist, they ask about the pieces that he's done on the prison walls, and he says they are all Simone. And then it cuts to, a beautiful like shot of them all in color with Simone standing in front of them. And it's this really profound moment of love and acceptance and of art, really. And I thought that was just so good. In the second one, similarly, there's a moment where the two opposing sides of this rebellion, Timothy Chalamet's character, and then like the one in the motorcycle helmet the whole time. Can't remember their name, but like, they listen to like a jukebox, like on opposing sides, and again, you get color with this moment of music, and then like in the third one when they sample food, they have again these moments of color and these moments that totally stick out, and I thought that was just amazing, really.
Wow, yeah, it's just like one of those moments, like especially it's just like one of those moments like in the for instance not Grand Budapest where is it Zero?
Zero, yeah.
Yeah, Zero talking to his girlfriend on the carousel, and that shot of like of her face, like with that colorful light in the background, like showing her face. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a use of color that I think works really really well in this one.
Yeah, and I really like it because with there was like two timelines that I could you can see, like the past and the future, or the present. Like the black and white stuff is like the past, like we could see like the black and white stuff throughout the film, but then there'll be like moments of color, like what you said about when someone like when the artist, like the artwork in the prison, that was like showing the like kind of like some hope within for the artist, like he's trying to try to help himself. I don't know what's the word, like is it like, I don't know, just like giving stuff, I don't know, I forgot the word, I don't know.
It really is. It's kind of like the culmination of that story, and the love that he has. Yeah, it's the love that he has kind of accumulated for her, kind of coming to to a head almost. And all I think all of them had their own kind of they in a way it's almost as if Wes Anderson brings you a selection of short films, you know, they all have this kind of loose through line that I think kind of comes together quite nicely. But what I really enjoyed about it was the fact that they all have something different to say. I think the setup is the there's a story about the arts, there's a story about food, and there's a story about politics. Let's see. Works of politics, the arts, high and low, and diverse stories of human interest. And I think it really delivered on that. I think, some of the best stuff of the film was when it had a comment to say about, like society, or like the way that we kind of consume, whether it be like through our interpretation of politics or of food or of the other one, just art in general. I thought that was very nice, they were made differently each time. Like there was a lot of like kind of camera movement in the third story. There's a shot where obviously there's a lot of static, a lot of really nice blocking, Wes Anderson's signature stuff, but there was a really nice like rotating shot of everybody all sampling the food. There was the animated car chase, which I thought was really, really cool.
Yeah,
Kind of
that
taking
was
some of
really
that
cool, that one.
animation. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
like even in the politics one, there was some handheld camera movement, which I haven't seen from
Yeah.
Wes Anderson in a long
Yeah, like
time.
in the third one, is it? I don't know, but I think it was the third one.
No,
I
I
can
think I
remember
think
that.
it was the second one. I think in the political one, just before the barricades go down, and it's the conversation between
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Timothy
He
Chalamet.
used that. Oh my god.
Yeah, I thought that was amazing. Just to see him
Um,
switch it up a little bit, his style.
yeah. Um, what? And I really liked, the structure of these stories. What was it like? At the beginning, it was telling us what the French magazine was, and then we got like a mini introduction to Owen Wilson's French character. I don't know what's his name.
Yeah, he
I'm
yeah,
typing
it's
through and yeah, it was like it's yeah.
yeah.
Hello.
You
Oh,
yeah,
I thought you'd gone
you
off for something.
no, you're breaking up a little bit on my end, but hopefully the folks
Oh,
at
am
home
I?
can hear just fine. But yeah, I was a little bit taken aback with the structure of it. I'm not gonna lie. When the guy cycling through the city, when that first story ended, I kind of thought that the whole thing would be similar kind of lengths to that. And I wasn't kind of sure how many stories there would be. And I was kind of like, I kind of expected it to go on for longer. And then when it ended, it kind of came as a surprise for me. So I think the pacing of the film, it's structured like a magazine. And I think that is it works well, but I also think therein lies the problem for me. I think that idea and the way that they've strung it together, it works well. And I think the structure of that is good. But I also think that for me, at least, magazines are a kind of thing where I don't read a whole magazine in one sitting. And if I
Yeah.
do, it's not something that happens very often. And this is the kind of film that watching it all, I felt like I should be taking breaks in between each one. I felt like one story should end and I should kind of go and get myself like a drink or something. If that makes sense, like a
Yeah.
magazine, I might read one article one day and then one article the next, not like them all at once. And I feel like therefore the film kind of felt like it was going on a bit and that it was kind of I understand what you mean. Towards the third story, I kind of felt like it was dragging on a little bit and that I
Yeah.
was kind
Yeah.
of struggling to retain as much interest as I was in the first two.
Um. Yeah, and especially throughout the third story that I mean, like, it was kind of interesting, but then it was just like losing a little bit interest to the story. But
Mm.
I just couldn't get the pacing right for the third one. I just felt it was exactly what you said. It was just dragging on. But
Yeah.
I just really liked the first two. It's just like how enjoyable they were, and especially like the structure was like and the pacing as well. That was like perfectly doable throughout throughout those two. um, stories. I just really like the soundtrack as well. I thought the soundtrack was used well, and the cinematography. Oh, the cinematography. The shot that I really liked was when Timothy Chalamet and the motorcycle. I forgot her name. But there was like one
Yeah,
shot
what
where
is her name? That I feel like we should know her
I feel a
name, but
bit
I just
mean,
can't think
like
of it.
not knowing what's the name. I need to find out.
I'm on it. I'm googling it as we speak.
I'm good.
It
I'm good at it now.
is
Now I'm googling it
Juliet.
now. Ah.
Got there
Uh,
first. Yeah,
um.
so you got Timothy Chalamet and Juliet.
Yeah, that shot where um she's like riding the motorcycle in the dark with Timothy Chalamet's character, like with the neon flashing lights, with the red and blue lights throughout that entire sequence. I really love that, and I just really love the humor in it in this whole story, especially in the first one when they're showing the artwork to the adjudicators. I don't know if they're adjudicators or something.
The buyers.
The buyers, yeah, okay, the
Yeah.
buyers, and one of them, like he was showing like the bird, the picture of the bird, like I just thought that was funny, like um, just the bird, just
Yeah,
there.
I feel like the first one was kind of like the most comedic. The second one maybe was the most emotional, and then the third one was kind of the most like fast paced and action heavy. It was interesting. I feel like the third one was placed, in the plot where it was because of its kind of faster nature and the lean and action scenes. I think that I think that so in Isle of Dogs, Wes Anderson uses this style of animation that he uses for the car chase. He uses it to do the news reports and like the screens on the TVs. And now he's done a bigger section. I have a feeling that sometime soon, maybe in his next film, Wes Anderson is going to do a full film in that animation style, similar to how he did some stop motion animation in Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou, and then he made Fantasy Mr. Fox a few years later. So I have a feeling that that's going to be something that he kind of goes along with. But I actually found the third one was my favorite.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
I feel like because there are three stories, I found it difficult to latch onto the emotions every single time. I think there were some really good moments, but I wasn't always with the characters. But with the third one, I thought Jeffrey Wright, his performance was incredible. It was a real standout performance
Yeah,
to me.
I agree. Yeah.
The way that he talks about food, it really is, he exudes the energy of somebody who is passionate about this and who really understands, and has this kind of true appreciation for these arts and the food that he's eating. The way that it kind of like leapt out like the words, or like leapt out at me and kind of pulled me in. I really really liked that. I thought his performance was great, and then at the end, the chef makes this really really profound speech about like tasting the poison, and how like he's like searching for like tastes, and how like he can never truly replicate that taste because of like it will kill him. And I just thought that was like extremely like heart-wrenching, and I think that those moments of emotion were the best parts of the film for me. There's moments of color, there's moments where we truly got to understand the characters on that real level, almost as if those scenes are where we are let into the world and not just seeing it through the eyes or hearing it through the words of these writers.
Yeah. And yeah, as you said, it was like very powerful, that chef's speech as well. But I really liked the Jeffrey Wright's character throughout that. That was like really powerful. Like the way that he says the words, like it was just satisfying to hear. And then that impacted the whole character. And then the animation was cool at the end. That was really interesting to see as well. I just don't know why. I just felt, it was dragging on. But I thought maybe if I like took a break and then see that act, I would be like, oh, okay, that's a really good story, that one. What else?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I feel like it feels almost as if I watched this at home and I kind of like watched the first story and then like, took a pee break or something, came back, watched the second, and then maybe
Yeah.
had like something to eat and then came and like watched the third. Those separations I feel like might have made it enjoy. If Wes Anderson had released this as three different short films, maybe because the way that they connect them with the actual French Dispatch and Bill Murray's character, I don't know. I feel like it wasn't
Oh yeah, Bill Murray's character.
quite strong. Yeah,
Yeah, he was just like there, just just
he
there.
was.
Yeah, especially that he just randomly died at the end. So I just he just
Yeah,
died
they
at the
kind
end.
of they kind of then shoehorned in an obituary where we're supposed to. It almost felt like they were then asking us to care about the characters and then their relationships with one another when the real the what we've got to know from any of them was from these little uh interludes in between each story. But that I don't feel like that was quite enough for me to truly kind of like latch onto the death of Bill Murray's character. And so
Mm,
therefore I feel like the
yeah.
film ended on a bit of a, well, I know what they're going for. I know that they're going for this kind of like togetherness sense. Um but I'm not sure it really worked for me.
Um. Yeah, I can see why. I can see what you mean about like the whole thing about that. Um. Maybe they were trying to, reinforce the idea of the French Dispatch, like what they were doing in the first place, as news reporters to, as journalism as well, like to tell somebody's life in an article in like little as 200 words or 200, I don't know, but something like that. And but it wasn't really impactful, like Bill's character's death. But if it was like more impactful, and when everyone's like formed, together for the death, maybe that would have like worked a lot more better. Like I'd be like, oh, that's really impactful. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. But saying that, I think, if they'd have just released, you know, it's as without those little bits, I do think that it would have lost some of it, as if like, some of the scenes of Bill Murray questioning some of their choices and then the writers explaining it is some of the moments where we kind of understand the writers in different ways. So I feel like those are still important. I just feel like they didn't come together in the way that
No.
they
Yeah.
quite could have.
Yeah. I mean, I loved the film throughout I loved the film. Like throughout, it
Yeah.
was just like so enjoyable with like the music, the actors are like, I can tell that I had so much fun as well. Like Tilda Swinton's character just like talking about um the life of this painter, and I just thought that was just hilarious, just talking about
Oh
that.
yeah, that one really. There was some great like when Benicio del Toro and Adrian Brody's characters were chasing each other around the installation, like throwing stuff at each other. I just thought that was like just really really hilarious.
Cinema.
I thought that one, yeah, honestly, and
Yeah.
I think the cast were all incredible. Wes Anderson, like so many directors, like proper auteurs, he brings back so many like members of casts from different films. Like, but even in this one, you've still got new members, and I think that it was just so cool to see so many of them in the same place and playing different roles. I can't. Was that? I feel like this. I feel like this is the first time Timothy Chalamet was in a
Yeah.
a Wes Anderson film. I might be wrong about that, but like say it was great to see him in it. As I said, Jeffrey Wright was amazing, but there was also some great cameos from people like Owen Wilson. I kind of glorified cameo. I thought his role, Willem Dafoe as like the as the like guy in prison. I thought that was great.
Yeah,
It's just
that's
yeah,
great.
there's so many things that Wes Anderson does so well, and he nails it with the cast as well. I think.
I wish there was like a lot more to talk about. I feel like, well, I haven't seen the film for like weeks now, but what else? I don't know, but I just really the cast was great. I thought it was just like a really strong cast. Um, hmm, uh, I don't know, but I just adored the cinematography throughout the film. That was just like the number one thing that was just really captivating
Yeah,
throughout
100%.
the film.
Wes
Yeah,
Anderson, it's almost like the embodiment of every frame being a painting. You know, every
yeah,
single frame, maybe not every single one, but most of them, there's something that you pause it and you're gonna get something really good. The way that he blocks, the way that he structures things, he uses his lighting, and as I said, the use of color in this is so intelligent and in ways that, and aspect ratio as well. I love a 16:9 film. I love a 4:3 film, but to use them both, I talked about this when I talked about Limbo, which is a film this year that I thought
Limbo.
was incredible. But when they used these things together, I think, cinema, just cinema, amazing, absolutely amazing. So, what do you have anything else you want to say?
Um, I just thought it was an enjoyable film. It's not like the best Wes Anderson film, but I just thought like the emotion, like the hilarity, and like the way that he was like really passionate telling these stories, and the French Dispatch, like the whole idea of it, like what was it about? But I thought it was just the pace was okay, but the stories were just excellent. So yeah.
Yeah. So that was I was gonna say, where do you think? Obviously, we did rank all the Wes Anderson films, or at least most of them, because I know you had to duck out a bit early. You guys can check that out if you haven't seen it yet. But what did you think? Do you think this is one of his best, or maybe one of like his worst, maybe, or like maybe like a middling film? What would you say in terms of his like
I'm
wider
not too
filmography?
sure. I, it's like somewhere in the middle between one of the best and one of the worst. I don't know. I don't
Mm.
know.
I think I have such an adoration, and I love all of his films so much that this one comes in at quite low for me, and it might even be my least favorite. I'd have to watch it again. But yeah, I'm still definitely totally there for everything that Wes Anderson's doing. But if we compare this to something like The Last Night in Soho that we watched last week, which I think
Yeah.
was again, I watched it a
Amazing.
second time. I watched it a second time, and it was still as good. It's bloody spectacular, and that film really, did something different for Wes Anderson, for Edgar Wright. But I don't feel like this film quite, in terms of a director's film, I don't think that it was quite as impactful to me as Last Night in Soho was for Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do
Last night
you?
show it was just more impactful, but like
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
it's not really fair to be comparing it to Last Night in Soho, but it's just happens that they came out at the same time, really, or like a week apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
what do you think you're going to give it out of 10?
Um I want to give it like an 8 or 7.
Yeah, I'm going 8. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an
Um,
8.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's really strong, and an 8 to me, an 8 is excellent, but I don't think it's quite a 9. And I'd call a 9 a masterpiece, like like proper cinema right there, and 10 would be the masterpiece. So I think 8,
Yeah, 10
I don't.
10's like the old film. Yeah.
Yeah,
And nine's like
it's hundred
amazing,
percent.
but 10, yes.
Yeah, 100%.
Um
10's always a masterpiece, isn't it?
yes. Oh,
It
it
has to be.
but with film Empires film rating is a bit different, isn't it? Like 5 stars, 4 stars, and so
Yeah.
that is really confusing because it doesn't really, you know, say how much what goes into like 2 stars and 3 stars. It could be like a good film, but 4 stars, I don't know. This system is a bit weird.
Yeah, in my
Yeah,
opinion, the problem with the 5 star rating is that there's too much of a disconnect. 2 is bad and 3 is like a pretty good score. I feel like there should be a middle ground. You don't see
yeah,
while many people would say that a 3 is just a fine score, technically a 3 is like good. You give something a 3, that's fresh from Rotten Tomatoes. But I feel like the 2.5 or the 5 out of 10 is very important for a film that is equally good and bad. Many film Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I loved that film, but I also recognize that there's a lot of bad in there. So it comes as 5 out of 10. And I feel that's
yeah,
important. And therefore I always opt for the score out of 10 and a score out of 5.
yeah.
He's gone. Still there?
Hello?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah. You're breaking up a little bit. Who knows if these guys can hear it, but let's continue. Let's talk about some trailers for the week. So we got a trailer
Oh, yeah.
for Morbius.
Morbius.
Jared Leto's second attempt at a comic book film. This is part of the Sony Spider-Man thing. What did you think of the trailer?
It was I don't know. It's like a bit conflicting, to be honest. Like, what Jared Leto is trying to do with Morbius. What I mean. Like, it's a bit weird to see. Especially that he's done Joker. I think that's the Joker. Oh, hello.
Oh, is
Hello.
that?
Hello.
This is like, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We're having all technical difficulties today. I'll make a note to check on this when I do the edit. Yeah, I think that while I'm not the biggest fan of Jared Leto and while I don't care about Morbius, I think this film looks like, again, we're coming from Venom here. It's the same universe, obviously, and Venom does not take itself seriously at all and doesn't ask anyone else to take it seriously. It doesn't give the MCU kind of, we're going to try and be really sincere, but at the same time, we're going to undercut it with a lot of jokes. They just kind of go, we're going to do a stupid thing and it's going to be, or at least I read it as, this is a stupid thing and it's going to be, a bit ridiculous. And I think it really, really works for Venom. And therefore, I'm totally on board with Morbius. I really am, which is just a bit of a weird sentiment. I didn't think I'd ever kind of like, say, but I think it looks cool. I think there's some fun like nods, like they like one of the weirdest like kind of lines in it is where someone's like, who are you? And he's like, I am Venom. No, I'm just kidding, it's Michael Morbius, but at your service. It's just the weirdest like thing and it looks wild, but I'm really intrigued. I hope it's good. And yeah, I'm really intrigued to how it looks. One of the things that I kind of wanted to ask though is that there are a lot of elements in this so first of all, you've got obviously references to Venom, so this is clearly going to be the Venom universe, but also references to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. There's the Oscorp tower with the same logo from his films. There's a newspaper with references to Rhino and Black Cat, both of whom were in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and then some to Tobey Maguire's universe with the Spider-Man mural on the wall of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, but it has the words murderer over it, which is a Tom Holland thing because people think that he killed Mysterio.
It's a Tom
And
sorry,
yeah,
the way that you
yeah,
said it's like a Tom Holland thing. Oh, like it's like some conspiracy theory. Sorry, it just sounded like that.
yeah. Tom Holland is a murderer, guys.
No.
And yeah, and then obviously you've got the Vulture, Adrian Toomes, played by Michael Keaton. Where does this sit? Like, what do you think? Do you think this film is going to be set in the Amazing Spider-Man universe, in the Raimi universe, in the MCU universe? Like, what do you think?
I I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to do that. But then it's the by the looks, it's going to be like Venom over again. Like you know, I don't know. I just don't know what to say about it. Honestly, it is a bit hard to talk about. Like something that's not really particularly not interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, what you said about like the trailer, Spider-Man linking up to like Murderer, as well. It's going to be interesting what they're going to do with Morbius, but it's going to be that hard, solo film that that you're trying to pick up, with Sony, but also that is going to do. But this is the same. Is it the same director? It did Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home.
No, no, this
Oh,
isn't John Watts.
oh.
No, let's have a look. Who is directing Morbius? It is Daniel Espinosa, who directed. What have he directed? Okay. Films I've literally never heard. Oh, he did Life in 2017 with Ryan
Oh,
Reynolds
Life.
and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh,
Yeah.
that film. Oh,
Yeah.
my dad saw that and he said, "Oh, that's good. That's good."
Okay.
So
Not bad, not bad. It's in loads of films that I haven't heard of. So yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I watched the trailer a little bit while back, but I don't know. I think it just said the same team as it's Far From Home, but I don't know, something like that. But
Yeah, no, it said the studio from that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah. Um, I think that with like all these kind of things, um, I think that they are going to do like they're gonna combine the universes at the end of No Way Home. I think they're gonna combine the three Spider-Man universes, and then that's kind of where Morbius and Venom will sit in this kind of combined universe, similar to how DC did it in Crisis on Infinite Earths. In the comics, they combined the multiverses, and I think that's how they're gonna do it.
yeah. That's good. That's going to be a little bit annoying because DC did it first, but
Yeah.
um, and like how much hype was around Crisis on Infinite Earths comic, like how much what were the possibilities, but now it's going to be so predictable what they're going to do. I don't know, like with the multiverse and like what the possibilities are, but it's a good thing as well because they could bring back potential villains like Ultron, like for some future MCU films maybe, because Ultron had a lot of potential, but Age of Ultron, he had
How
teeth.
how embarrassing. He did
Yeah,
have teeth. That's true. God, that was a film. Honestly, having just like this past weekend, having watched all seven Spider-Man films, I don't ever want to watch an MCU film ever again. Like
yeah.
watching Homecoming and Far From Home broke me, dude. Like Jesus Christ. But yeah,
Really, it really broke you.
oh, I didn't enjoy it. I did not enjoy those two films. Were
Like Far From Home, no, the Homecoming and Far From Home, right?
yeah, no, new, new, no way.
Oh, sorry, Amazing Spider-Man, right? Two,
Wait, what?
Amazing Spider-Man 2. Did you enjoy
No,
that?
no, yeah, yeah, I enjoyed Amazing Spider-Man too. I'm
Oh,
talking about the
oh,
MCU Spider-Man films, Homecoming and
oh, oh, like Homecoming and Far From Home, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. I know what
yeah.
you
No,
mean now.
yeah, no, they were rough, man. They were. We'll talk. We're going to talk about it in a few weeks. We're going to do all the Spider-Man films, but yeah,
Yeah,
God,
I don't know why, but if you, Tom, if you remember this person that talked about like Batman v Superman was like really bad and everything, he said that Homecoming uh is the best
Cosmonaut.
Spider-Man film.
Cosmonaut Variety Hour, right?
No,
No?
huh?
Wait, are you talking about the Cosmonaut Variety Hour on YouTube?
No, 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 no. Someone that we
Okay.
no, someone that we talked to, my friend from school, and he said
Oh.
him.
Oh yeah, no. I
Yeah, 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 yeah,
disagree. I disagree.
yeah.
Like,
You said that Spider-Man: Homecoming was like the best Spider-Man film. Uh,
having rewatched them, like I'm not including Spider-Verse here. Spider-Verse is literally god tier. Doesn't even deserve to be talked about in the same sentence. But
no,
like, yeah, like Spider-Man, there is a very, in my opinion, there's a very strong argument to say that the Spider-Man films get progressively worse, meaning that Spider-Man 2002 is the best one and Far From Home is the worst. My thoughts kind of vaguely follow that kind of train, of thought. Not exactly, but still, I think that each series kind of loses something. And yeah,
yeah.
the MCU films, we're going to talk about it at some point, but yeah, makes me a little bit less excited for No Way Home, I will say. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, so we have a second trailer as well. So there was also a trailer for the Book of Boba Fett.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah, Book of Fett.
our
Oh
Mandalorian
yeah.
spin-off. This
Oh
looks cool,
yeah.
man. It looks very
Oh
cool.
yeah.
What do you
Oh
think?
yeah. Sorry, I'm just getting excited. So yeah, Book of Boba Fett. This looks really cool. And especially that for years and years and years, we'd be like wanting to have like a Boba Fett solo film or TV show, but now
Hmm.
we have like we're gonna see, what really happened with Boba Fett and or afterwards after the events of Mandalorian season 2. I don't know, but this is really cool. Like, what the possibilities are going to do, and like we're going to see the more cooler version of Boba Fett throughout this whole series as well, and we got Fennec as well, so that's cool.
Yes. I didn't expect, like, honestly, when this is not what I expect, like, from what we're seeing, it is not what I expected from this show. So, you know, we kind of all, you kind of assume that a Boba Fett show would be, bounty hunting and, kicking ass and taking names, but it seems very much kind of like Boba wants to rule with respect and kind of, retain a bit of his honor. Maybe we're going to see some of his kind of escapades in between The Mandalorian and Return of the Jedi. And I think that those ideas are really cool, that they are progressing this in this way. But yeah, there's a lot kind of speculation surrounding what they're doing here. There is a rumor that episode 1 of the Book of Boba Fett will be entitled Chapter 17. So they are directly
Oh,
continuing the story of the Mandalorian here,
ooh,
and kind of like continuing that legacy. But obviously they're building up to this big Thrawn thing, and obviously I want the Book of Boba Fett to stand on its own. I want it to be a good thing regardless. But I'm still wondering how this will all fit in. Like at the moment, Star Wars TV is really going for something big, and I hope the Book of Boba Fett, does well, because I feel like that there is a danger that it could just be, fan service. Here's your Boba Fett thing. But at the same time, what I really liked about this trailer was that it was focusing on the plot. There wasn't any bombshell moments. There wasn't like, there were no, apart from Din and Fennec, I don't think, I might be wrong about this, but there are no characters we already know, like nobody. So I
yeah,
think that's really
nobody.
interesting. There could, this show might just be like focusing on its own story in the similar way to Mandalorian season 1. It might just focus on its own story with new characters and not bother with like the rest of the universe. And I think that prospect, as much as it's exciting to know what's going to happen with this big crossover, the prospect that we're not going to see anything from the wider universe is very exciting.
Yeah, it's just so exciting and new, especially like uh when we saw Mandalorian the trailer for the first time, like what were the possibilities seeing in this Mandalorian, and that would the whole new characters, and that's really cool. Seeing new characters and not like having this whole copy and paste motion, like what they're gonna do. So yeah, this looks exciting. So yeah, really excited for it.
Yeah, definitely. On Friday, so Friday the 12th of November, there is Disney Plus Day upcoming. And so obviously they're going to be announcing new Disney Plus things, giving us trailers. And the rumor for Star Wars is that we are going to be getting a sizzle, behind the scenes for Book of Boba Fett, a sizzle reel for Mandalorian season
Ooh.
3, a sizzle reel for Andor, a teaser for Bad Batch season 2, and of course the first look at Obi-Wan Kenobi. So I mean, very
Oh,
exciting stuff. I think it's going to be really cool to see what's going to happen.
yes, a surprise but a welcome one. Is that the way that the meme goes? A surprise
A
but a welcome one.
surprise, a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Indeed,
Yeah, that's it.
indeed.
That's it. That's
Let's
it. Yeah.
go.
Uh,
Right, before we roll on out, let's do a little bit of viewing, shall we? Because
yeah.
I've got something very specifically that I want to talk about. But
Yeah.
I'll
And
let
I
I'll
got.
let you go first.
Oh,
Give me
okay.
something.
So, I'll talk about two things. One's like really short to talk about, but I'll
Okay.
talk about I'll talk about this one thing that I'm starting. So I'm
Okay.
starting a new anime show called
Yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Right.
So do you want do you want me to spell that out?
I think I'll figure it out.
Okay,
I've
so
got I've got
Jujutsu
I've got
Kaisen.
I've got jujitsu. I'll go from there. I shall go
Yeah, it's
from
called
there.
yeah, it's called Jujutsu Kaisen. And this is like one of the most recommended shows that I've been telling to watch. My friend from athletics that told me, "Oh, you should watch the show. It's really cool." My friends from college, like they even showed me the introduction of this show, and oh my god, it is amazing. Like the scene tune slaps, and like the variety of the animations is so smooth and so clean. But I watched the first episode yesterday, and it is really cool. Like the concept of the whole thing. So I haven't got the story yet, but what I got so far is about um, a boy called Yuji, and he one day gets I don't know what's this person, but a person who can detect evil, and he can see the evil through the glasses. Like you can put some glasses and see what sense of evil, like some that the
Oh,
way that the
okay.
evil is the way that the evil is created is by the negativity. So like
So
uh
he's got like infrared glasses, but with evil.
yeah, like you can see the evil, like there's some like monsters or creatures or something like
Of
that.
course he can.
And yeah, and Yuji doesn't know that he has this power that that can detect the evil around him, or like the negativity, all of it. So that's what I got so far.
I
um
mean, that's that definitely sounds like something.
yeah, first two free on YouTube right now, and you can have it right now. It's only like 3 minutes, but it is so interesting. Like what it is. So now I want to watch the whole show.
Brilliant.
But yeah, that'd be cool. But
It's good.
another
It's
thing I
good that
watched,
it's good that it gets you hooked straight away.
yeah, yeah, it's the same people who did the animation team. I don't know
Mhm.
if who it was, who did Attack on Titans, I think.
Oh, cool.
Um, yeah, so I think so, but it could be something else. But apparently the most hated studio.
Oh, he's gone. He just he bounced. Well, I guess whilst he's gone, I'll wait for him to rejoin and I'll talk about what I watched. I watched Dear Evan Hansen, the film. Now, I haven't seen the oh, he's back. He is muted. Anyway, I haven't seen Dear Evan Hansen, the play. I listened to the songs and I think they're really cool. I get I've been told like the plot and stuff and all that, but nevertheless, I went into Dear Evan Hansen, the film, knowing, kind of vaguely what's going on. Um, but my God, Like this was pretty pretty rough, man. Like I heard it was bad, but I had no idea how bad it would be. Like this, obviously, there's the immediate kind of like controversial, very controversial casting of Ben Platt as Evan, this guy who's like in his late 20s, maybe even his 30s. I don't even know. Playing a high school teenager, um, and he just looks weird immediately, and his performance is so kind of like emotionally dissonant. There'll be moments that he will have like the wrong, a reaction to a situation, and that could be good. That could be like part of his character, part of his kind of socially awkwardness, but they really don't lean into it. And I think it's really, really distracting. It really can be distracting, how much, you know, how oblivious he is. Um, and the fact that he kind of strings along the plot kind of consists around him stringing along this family of this guy who's died, who's killed himself, and he almost strings them along and like makes them believe they were friends, and he gets everything he wanted. But he never really faces like true consequences for this. The film never really explores and confronts the fact that he is manipulative and being a really, really bad person. And the play definitely does that. There like are songs that they decide to cut out, which I really just have no idea why they did it. And there are so many characters who are barely explored, and even if I didn't know what the play was like, I would understand these characters are so like flat, and they really shouldn't be. Like you can't just explore one person. Like the kind of the character who sets the whole plot in motion, I guess, being Connor Murphy, who kills himself. We barely know him before he goes. I don't know if that's something that the musical fixes, but I know that there are songs that that does, and I just think that what they did, like they've just made this thing. I don't even know why, but they've done it, and it was a real mistake. And a lot of people saying this is one of the worst musical movies ever, and I find it hard to disagree. I think there's so much this film does wrong, and saying that, however, it's loads of fun. I think without a doubt, it's like a 4 out of 10, but it's so nearly a 5. It's so nearly that like average point because I can really enjoy it. I watched this with my girlfriend and we just took the piss out of it the whole time, and it was really funny. And there's just so much to laugh at. But I think the work of the film, it didn't work. I was never laughing with it. I was never carried along by the emotions. I was more just like, I thought it didn't start too badly, in all honesty, but it just really kind of went downhill. Yeah, definitely wouldn't recommend it but I think it's a really good time, a really good laugh. And it's one of those films this year that I will, look back on as like, just why did you do it? Oh, who knows? Who knows? John, are you back? Are you there? You are unmuted, it says to me. I don't know. Let me text him. He did warn me beforehand that this might happen, but let's have a look.
Wait, I'm back.
There he
I'm
is.
Back.
He's back.
Right. Okay.
Brilliant.
Somehow,
I have no idea if you.
I was just listening to you, like David Hansen. I was like, wait, why am I muted? So then I spent like looking on Zoom, or like just trying to find out why I'm muted, and then it just went, oh, you're muted. I was like, what do you mean? So I don't know what's going on today.
He's back. Well, it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, I was about to say.
Thing you're gonna watch. Yeah.
I was about to say that about the film Coda, but then you're like, oh, David Hansen. So David Hansen. Wow. Well, my dad wants to see it. My dad wants to see it.
Don't waste your time. Go watch Eternals instead. Much better. No, okay. It's not great at all. But I think if you don't know, I know that you've seen the musical, so
yeah.
You'll definitely have a different experience to me, but it's so funny. Like if you're gonna watch it, just like prepare to laugh at how ridiculously stupid it is, and how like it fails at nearly everything. It's trying so hard to do, and there's so much interesting stuff behind the scenes as well. Like I'd really recommend, like just researching a bit into it if you do watch it. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. It's dreadful. It really is. It's really bad. So yeah, tell me about Coda then.
Okay, so Coda. So Coda is about a girl who is hearing, but the rest of the family is deaf. So
Okay.
this is like another relatable film as well. It's up there with Sound of Metal, A Sound of Voice, but this as well, Coda. It's more of a personal film, you know, like it's like the complete opposite to me. Like me, I'm just like living in my own world, but it's like a whole family of that. But the family can't speak, but they can sign as well. They can sign, and it's a really interesting juxtaposition about like the hearing daughter is like struggling through like high school, but like, you know, applying for university, and she can sing, but the family doesn't want her to sing. The family wants her to be with them, like, you know, guiding through this world, like how they're going to do like the daily lives, and like how they're going to talk to other people as well, how they're going to communicate, but without her. And this film's really hilarious as well. It is just so funny. The parents, with like the way that they use sign language, like really graphic, and it's just hilarious, like how much emotion it puts into. With this one's like a really good deaf representation, as well as sound and voice as well, and sound and metal. Like sign language was properly used, like the way that they put emotion into it, and yeah, and the story was like very simple. It was enjoyable, and yeah, I loved it. The music was great, a great music choice as well. And my sister, we watched together. My sister, she thoroughly enjoyed it, as better as I did, because there was the songs that she enjoyed as well. But yeah, I thought it was a really pretty relatable film that I really liked. And what else?
Yeah, I've heard of Coda. Yeah, it's very well thought of, isn't it? It's won. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure like it's won like a load of like film festival awards. I'll give it. Is it on Apple TV Plus?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think
Apple TV.
I'll give it a bloody look.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, what would you give it
Um.
out of 10?
And 8 out of 10. I really liked it.
Cool,
So
solid,
yeah.
nice, awesome.
Um. Yeah. That's it. That's it from me.
Awesome. I've got one more thing I want to talk about. I shouldn't take
Cool.
too long, but Doctor Who, the latest season started,
Oh
entitled
no. Oh no. Oh,
Flux.
oh.
Buckle in, John. This
I
is
need to
about to
watch
get
it.
real.
Ah!
I know you haven't watched Doctor Who in so long, but unfortunately, like a toxic relationship, I keep on coming back to the show. I don't know why. I don't know why I keep on telling myself it's going to be good. It's never good anymore. And guess what? This latest episode wasn't good either. I've already ranted about the last episode, bloody Revolution of the Daleks, on the pod, but this season, so they're promising a 6 episode story, you know, like a continuous story, not like a monster of the week kind of thing. And what they are doing with it is apparently they are, you know, attempting to you know, kind of like, I don't even know, man. uh they're just
Oh
telling one
no.
big story, basically. It's a world anything. The first episode, it sucked. Now, it wasn't quite as bad as Revolution of the Daleks. What can be? But it was literally just an hour of setup. I know it's a continuous story, but each chapter, if you've only got 6 hours to do this, not even that, they're each like 50 minutes long, so like 5 hours and a bit to do this. Each part should be furthering the story, but this literally just serves as exposition. It introduces a new companion who is just whisked away, you know, doesn't even get a choice to be a companion. It's just thrown straight into the mix, you know. Very, very shallow character work. It has like 5 different scenes introducing characters who aren't even relevant to the episode, who are just clearly going to come back later. It spends the whole time introducing concepts and, you know, like just setting up this future conflict, but it barely starts the conflict. Or maybe the final 10 minutes might, but the rest of it is all just spent, you know, setting it up. And I know what they're going for here, but it's just really sloppy, you know? Like they should be able to tell, you know, a somewhat complete story, something that furthers the narrative each time without having to, you know, spend this amount of time on setting up things that aren't even relevant for this episode. I really hope that what they're doing, they know what they're doing here, because this is a really, really weak start. And this is Jodie Whittaker's final season. And in my opinion, she hasn't had a good season as the Doctor. And she could be amazing, but she's been given such bad writing. And this show could be so good and has been so good. It was good for 10 years, from 2010 to whenever Peter Capaldi left, 2017, 2018, I think.
2019.
2019, right, thank you. That's 14 years that you know, mostly it was great, you know, but it's just been going downhill, and I'm so tired. But episode 2 comes out in like an hour, so I guess I'll be watching that. No, in fact, I will be watching it. I literally don't have any restraint. I don't know, John. I don't know.
Why are you touching yourself? Why?
Oh God, this is what happens when I'm fans of things since like a child. I started watching Doctor Who when I was like 4, and now here we are like 14 years later, and I just can't let go. Jesus. Yeah, that's my review for Doctor Who, The Flux episode 1. I'll give a review for episode 2 next week, but in short, it was bad. Yeah, that's it. Let's roll out, shall we?
Oh God, that's the one thing that I'm going to be so worried about with the future of Doctor Who. But Russell T Davies.
Russell's here. He's back. That's all I care about. You know, next year he'll be back. He'll give us hopefully he'll give us a good 60th anniversary.
Give us lights. Come on, we need something that.
Please, Russell.
And not like the Doctors, you know, don't care about Graham. Like that awkward.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you mean. When, oh Jesus, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Take us out, please, before I die.
Okay, everyone.
Kill someone.
Thank you for listening today.
Yes,
we haven't depressing moments like these. We didn't have that today.
Really makes it worth. It really makes this pod worth doing. Next week we're going to be talking about Eternals. I'm going to see if we can get Joe Hegdog Films to talk about it too. I'm going to message him as soon as it's over, and then that's another week closer to talk about the Spider-Man films, which, as you know, John, I'm so excited for. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. I've watched Doctor Who Flux. Just do it for me, please. I'm begging you.
Okay, just press like.
Just do it now.
Okay. So yeah, thank you for listening. Please wear your masks in the cinema, because we still do it, because just to keep them open. But yeah, get double vaccinated, because that's important. Super important. Like what the hell are you doing? Just go and do it. Just do that. And yeah, wash your hands. Like, I don't know, just to be safe. Yeah.
Honestly, I swear to God, I never washed my hands before COVID, and now I do it every time, and I'm really proud of myself.
Yeah, like I just don't want to be like really paranoid or something. Like, okay, like 2019, we were like, we're fine. 2020, like, oh my God, we don't want to die. And then 2021, yeah, I'm okay. I can wash my hands every time.
Yeah, can you believe that this time last year, it was still like, we were still kind of thinking like, will there be another lockdown or not? I don't even like. What were we? Let me have a like. Give me a moment. What were we doing?
Right. He's gone.
I'm getting my pod book. This time last year,
the pod book.
we made a video literally on the 8th of November 2020. We made a video called Comic Book Movie Characters We'd Like to See Return, and we talked about Quicksilver, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, Dr. Octopus, Ben Affleck's Batman, Jared Leto's Joker, Sinestro. Wow, that was a year. Episode 11. Jesus.
Yeah.
My God, how times have changed. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video also and you want to see more, we've done other Wes Anderson content. We did a ranking of all of his films. We did Last Light in Soho last week, and as I say, we've got things coming in the coming weeks. Subscribe, hit the bell. You can catch us whenever we do it, or check out any of our backlog. This is episode 63, so we've got 62 other podcasts that you can sink your teeth into. And yeah, that is it. Oh, you can
Okay.
also get in contact with us. Tell us your thoughts on anything that we've talked about, ourstimefilmpod at gmail.com, or talk to us, or just follow us and see our thoughts on various things on Twitter or Instagram at ourstimefilmpod. And that's everything.
Okay.
Woo!
Can you hear me still?
I can still hear you.
Okay. Okay. Because and just checking. So thank you again. So yeah. Take what you're given.
Give nothing back.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.